It's a quick video about the power of message, okay? I'm not going to share exactly what it was, but there was something that happened over the past few days that made me decide to make a video on this. But and I'm going to try and keep it short. Dr. Emoto made his research with the hidden messages in water. He did many different types of experiments, which were great to show that memory was, that water was conscious, sorry, and that it responds to human emotions and words and messages and so on, so forth. So one of the experiments was if he got a glass of water, if he stuck a sticker, a piece of paper with the word love on it, hate, fear, harmony, gratitude, all these different words. When he had a technique where he would freeze the water very fast, and then he'd look at the crystals, under the structure of the crystals under a microscope, and every word carried its own geometric pattern, okay? And I'll show you some examples. So love carries a signature of love, the crystal, the shape of love, and how it works is they don't all look exactly the same. They'll what he'd do is they'd all resemble a similar crystal, okay, because no one water drop's exactly the same. And this is where people have tried to debunk him. I've heard people try and debunk him by saying that he said that every crystal was the same. He never said that. What he would do is he would get the crystals that they'd all resemble the same type of pattern, and then he would pick the one that was the clearest, okay? So they all form different crystals, okay? Love, harmony, whatever, thank you. Now, one of the tests he did, he wrote the word demon, okay, demon, on a piece of paper, stuck it on a glass of water, and when he froze it, it couldn't create a shape. It was distorted. Here's a picture of it here. Now, when we look at that, it's very important. When I first saw that, this is what I thought. The Tasmanian devil is actually suffering from a rare cancer, and they don't know what's causing it. They've got all these tumours on their faces. It's wiping them out. Now, my Buddhist teacher is also a PhD and a hydrogeologist, okay? She's always been fascinated with water, and she knows a lot about water. And I said to her, I said, if biological life is made up of mainly water, you know, humans are, you know, nearly 90% water, is it possible that the name that we have put on the Tasmanian devil, calling them a devil, could be the cause of this rare cancer? And she said, absolutely, 100%. So I saw somebody recently share that they kept calling somebody a certain name, okay? And when I saw it, I thought, the name they're calling it, because it had a certain personality, the name was only encouraging and emphasizing and giving the message of that name, okay? So it was going to get more of what it was. And I've seen people who have labelled their kids as being challenging and called them little monsters. I met a woman while I was on my travels, and she actually said to me, my son, she made a joke of it. She thought it was funny. I told her, I'd never seen her before. She worked behind the counter of a place I was shopping in. And I said, please don't say that. She said, my son is the devil reincarnated. And I was like, I said, don't say that. So very, very, very important that we don't do these things. Now, I spoke to a very close friend yesterday, and I spoke to him about this subject, because the event that, and I won't mention it here, but the event that I was where I saw somebody calling somebody else a certain name and they were acting a certain way, I told my friend that I changed their name. Right? I said, I'm not going to call you that, I'm going to call you this. And I gave him a positive message to his name. And he told me a beautiful story, my friend. He said, me and you think the same, Nick. He said, years ago, I met a mother and she had a young kid who they all called, the family called Terrible Terence, I think his name, or Trevor, Terrible Trevor or something like that. And he said, after being around them for a while and just seeing how this kid was adopting that name and the message and the frequency and vibration behind it, he said he had an opportunity to speak to the kid while his mum was there. And my friend, who's a lovely guy, he turned around and he said, do you mind if I call you Terrific Trevor rather than Terrible Trevor? And he said, the kid looked at him. I was like, yeah. And he started calling him Terrific Trevor, okay? Changing the message, changing the name. And he said he saw the mother years later. And the mother said that everything changed from that point on, okay? She started calling him that. And basically it was a real, this is how we can influence people. There's that analogy of a boat that's going in one direction. It only has to turn a couple of degrees, and over a long distance it's gone in a completely different direction. And that's what we can do, okay? Always planting seeds. So there's a beautiful story from this gentleman, but I want to share this with you because a lot of us put our own ego stuff on our kids and say, oh, they're this, that and the other, or they're that. And it's very, very dangerous. We can literally damage their soul journey, their life, what they're going to be like. And even if a kid wants to be good, or somebody or an animal wants to be good, and you're putting a negative message on them, it's like they're swimming against the tide, okay? Because words and names do carry a message, and there's always a spiritual reason for your name. So just bear it in mind. And I hope it serves someone somewhere to stop doing that. Much love. Take care. Bye-bye.